Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Skip Money.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast. So today I am super excited to have two guests with us in the studio, one who's been with us before and one who's not. So I'm excited to have both of them here and excited to learn all about their business. And I'm sure you'll be just as excited as I am, especially if you're looking for landscaping services, because today I have the pleasure of introducing your good neighbors, Mr. Steve Ward and Bruce Ballard of Sunny Hill, Inc. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to be here today.
Well, we're glad to have you. And like I said, all excited to learn all about what you guys do at Sunny Hill, Inc. So if you don't mind, I'll let you guys pick. But won't you kick us off by telling us all about Sunny Hill?
Sunny Hill is a family-owned business here in the north end of Buncombe County. And we do business in most all of western North Carolina and upstate South Carolina and North Georgia. And the business has been around now for a little over 50 years. We do both commercial and residential, mainly commercial right now, but we do a lot of residential also, hardscapes, installations, maintenance, basically any landscape needs that you have, we can provide that.
Wow, 50 years, man, that's nothing to sneeze at. You guys aren't old enough to have done this for 50 years.
So my family bought the business when I was 2.5 years old. They moved over here. Originally, it started as a greenhouse business, and it was going to be a hobby for my dad. And my mom originally was working in nursing, and then it began to grow. My dad turned it into more than just a hobby. My mom ended up leaving the nursing field to help with that. And so literally we would grow our own bedding plants, vegetables, perennials, and retail them right here. And then as I grew up through this, as I become a teenager, then my dad got sick and spent about a year before he passed away. So during that time, my mom was with him at the hospital. And at a very young age, as a teenager, I had to step up and start running the business. And he passed away in 1981.
Oh, wow.
And so after that, my mom debated about possibly selling the nursery. And I asked her as a teenager if we could keep it going to see what I could do with it. And so I would work through high school and come here. I went and got a 2-year degree at Haywood Technical College. I worked through college while here. And then after I graduated, then in 1987, purchased the business myself, took over, and I've been going ever since. The blizzard, just to change a little bit, we shifted from greenhouses to landscaping during the blizzard. I had got married, had kids. I threw my wife into the business as well, and doing the business and kids was tough. But then in 96, when we had the blizzard, we almost lost everything. And that was kind of a defining moment for us. And we switched from growing the greenhouse plants to the landscape. And then a note about Bruce being my brother-in-law, as my dad got sick and I was a teenager, he started getting sweet on my sister and started hanging around and got to know him then. And so then I can let him tell or let you share about him, how he got tied into the business from there.
So yeah, I had a reason to be here more than just greenhouses. It was because my eye was on his sister, Melanie. And then we got married. I started my horticulture experience at the Biltmore Estate. I was in the gardens and over the gardens for several years there at the Biltmore Estate. For about 20 years I was there. And then I've been back here at Sunny Hill now for going on 20 years, almost 20 years. And so Steve and I both basically have grown up here at Sunny Hill, both at Biltmore and Sunny Hill for myself. But that's how we got tied together in the business.
Wow, the Biltmore. That I'm sure that was a job because there's a lot of flowers at the Biltmore.
A lot of flowers. Working at Biltmore for me was that was my schooling. I do not have any professional college schooling as far as horticulture goes, but I lived the textbook at Biltmore and just threw myself into it. And my hobbies when I get home is to work in my yard. That's what I like. So
wow. So you love your work.
I do.
Well, wow, what a journey for both you guys. Unbelievable. Well, if you could think of any myths or misconceptions in the landscaping business, what would that be?
But you try to take that one.
You know, I think you hear so much on the internet about, oh, if you've ever used Roundup or if you use this chemical and that chemical, call us. We can make money for you. You know, those are money scams. Let's just get that out of the way right quick. And I think, you know, horticulture is, or maintenance, working in your yard, whatever you want. It's what you make of it. If you enjoy it, you know, it's something to do all the time. A landscape is a living organism. It doesn't just take care of itself. It can, the woodland does, you know, and all that. But as far as around your yard and in your landscape, you've got to take time with it. It's something that you have to work at. And I think there is a misconception. You know, we use a product that a lot of people call no-mow turf, and they think, oh, I'm never going to have to do anything to it, or oh, I'm going to plant a ground cover here and I'll never have to do anything else to it. There's always some kind of maintenance. There is no such thing as no maintenance landscape unless you choose to live in that type of a landscape, you know.
What, AstroTurf?
AstroTurf or nonstop weeds.
Well, there you go. There you go.
For sure.
Well, outside of work, you mentioned you like to work in your yard in your spare time. Anything else you guys like to do for fun? In your,
you know,
in your
Steve and I spent about 15 years outside of work singing together in a gospel group. And so, you know, music is a big part of my life and my family's life, and Steve's also. And, you know, and working at our church, being very involved in our church work, and Steve, of course, in his Man Cave Ministries. But, you know, that and family time, spending time with our grandkids. Both Steve and myself have grandkids, and our kids and our grandkids. It's just, you know, that's the love of our life. Work is great. Work provides for us to be able to do other things, but our main focus is our families and our working for the Lord.
Awesome. Great answer, especially if your spouses watch the podcast. Time with family. No, I'm kidding. Time with family,
right.
always the best answer. Always the best
Exactly.
answer. Well, so let's switch gears for just a second. Can either of you describe a hardship or a life challenge that you've overcome and how it made you stronger when you came out the other side? You think
I think for me, I mentioned earlier the blizzard of '93. We talk about trusting the Lord, and I can remember both of our wives were expecting that time. We lost power. We lost all power up at the greenhouse. I had a furnace that went out. We hooked the generator, and only half the lines would work. So we would have to physically take a small generator and a space heater from greenhouse to greenhouse all throughout the night, trying to just keep everything above freezing. During the process of this, the snow was coming down so hard, we literally would take I remember getting a push broom, duct taping it to pole pruners, and trying to push the snow off the building. The problem was that the snow had accumulated so much on the side, there was nowhere else for it to go. And I can remember getting in the greenhouse just outside of where we were at right here, and watching the building just slowly collapsing. And I looked at Bruce. Bruce had already was as exhausted. He had thrown up just from pure exhaustion, working so hard. And as that building was coming down, I remember looking at Bruce and just shrugging my shoulders and said, I give up. There's nothing else I can do. God, if I'm going to lose this, I'm going to lose it trusting you. But there is absolutely nothing else I could do. And just like I just let it all go. And when I did that, at that moment is when God stepped up and reminded me, hey, you've got some old timbers you're supposed to take to the landfill right outside. Won't you get those timbers and scotch up the building? I'm like, oh, yeah. So we went and got the timbers. We brought them in. We scotched up the building. And literally the entire time, we never lost anything. Finally, the sun come out, began to warm things up so we could get some rest. And I'll never forget the message that very next Sunday. Our pastor preached a message talking about when you can do all you can do, the Lord can go a little farther. We experienced that time. And from that, kind of made our decision at that time of, hey, it was life changing for Sunny Hill, because that was our last year selling plants. And then we began to pick up lawn maintenance, landscaping, and we've worked for a grocery store chain here, Ingles Markets. We've worked for them almost 30 years, maintaining their stores. And so it's just we got excavators, hydro seeders, bobcats, tractors, anything that we can do, almost everything. But that was, for me, was a for sure defining time.
I think so too.
Wow.
It was a challenging experience. To say the least, it was a challenge. And you have to keep in mind, that blizzard happened about the third week of March of that year, which is only about 3 weeks away from our biggest selling time. So all of our greenhouses were literally packed wall to wall, hanging baskets everywhere. Said we didn't lose one plant, not one plant. So, and when you got
amazing.
kids and your wife's expecting, and you don't have an insurance policy, and the only thing that's keeping you surviving for selling season is about 6 degrees, because once it dropped down to 32, it's over. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I remember that storm very well in March of '93. I was in Middle Tennessee at the time. We got like 14 inches of snow overnight on a Friday night. No, it was on a Friday night. It started snowing Friday afternoon. Anyway, remember it very well. But here you are, you pivoted and very successful with a new business model. So that's a great story. Well, if you guys could think of one thing you'd like our listeners and viewers to remember about Sunny Hill Inc., what would that be?
Quality. We're extremely proud of our quality. We have just the best crew. Been here for 15, almost 20 years. And I think that's what we're most proud of, is the quality of our work and the attention to detail. And, our guys will go the extra mile to do whatever we need to do to get the job done correctly. And like Steve said, one of our accounts with the local grocery store here for 30 years, I mean, that in itself says they're satisfied with the product that we give them. And we've got other customers that they've called back for 20, 25 years. And so, that's it. And we tell our guys, and as a matter of fact, every morning when we meet together, before they walk out the door, we pray. But we remind them, hey, you're representing Sunny Hill. But then I also remind them, hey, we're representing the Lord in what we do. So I think for me, that's it. The pride of our quality of our work.
And for me, Hill family, if one celebrates, we all celebrate. If one's struggling, we all want to jump in. When Helene hit and some of the driveways washed away, we make our equipment available to our guys. We help them. Whatever life comes, we're all in this together. A company can only be as good as those that represent them. And I am extremely blessed to have some wonderful employees. I had a customer that had not dealt with us in probably 8 to 10 years, and he was up in Brevard, and there was somebody had broke down in a truck, and he seen my Sunny Hill employees, and he went over to them and said, hey, could you help get this guy in? And obviously they did. Well, that guy called me and left me a voice message, which I still have on my phone today. And he said, I always highly respected your company, but today I reached out to your guys. They didn't know me, didn't have a dog in the fight at all. I asked them for help. They didn't throw up any excuses. They jumped up with generosity and smiles and give it their all, asked nothing in return, and went on. And he said, I just want to thank you for what you're instilling in these guys, because again, they're a reflection of us.
Absolutely. What a testimony, man. That is fantastic. You need to put that on your website. That's a great testimonial. Well, great thing to remember, quality. And if any of our listeners, viewers are interested in getting some work done, they're like me and don't have time to do anything in their yard, and they need help with landscaping, how can they learn more?
They can actually call our office, 828-645-3364, and either leave a message, contact here. Our website is sunnyhillnurseryinc.com. They're welcome to go to there to see a little bit more about us. You can email me at sunnyhillinc@hotmail.com. I'm one of the older ones. Still have a Hotmail address, sunnyhillinc@hotmail.com.
Very good. Awesome. Well, guys, again, can't tell you how much I appreciate you taking time out of your schedules to spend some time with us. And Steve, it was good seeing you again. And Bruce, very nice to meet you. And glad you were here. And want to wish you guys and Sunny Hill, your family, your customers, and your business all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's been an honor.
Absolutely. Maybe we can have you guys back sometime again.
Sounds good.
All right. We'll see you then.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnptry-cities.com. That's gnptry-cities.com or call 423-719-5873.